know this was supposed to be over at 3, and so I appreciate you staying on and tolerating. This is my first speech, but Scott. Can you all hear me over my tie? I tell people I wear these for 2 reasons. One, I can find them in the dark. And 2, it keeps people from looking at my head. How many have seen my show? It's smarter. It's a radio show. What I want to do is just spend a few minutes, take a little bit different tack. I'm very honored to be here. I'm pleased that we've got the response we have, both from the radio show and the talks I've given. But many of my clients ask me, well, what can I do now? Okay, they're very stressed out about what's going on in government, what's going on in this economy, and want to know, what can I do now? Part of that answer is protection, but also part of it is action. Everybody you've heard talk, everybody I've heard talk today has talked about action. Yeah, it's great having meetings and handing out flags and that kind of stuff, but it takes action. Now, we all know what action we're going to take this Tuesday, and we all know what action we're going to take this November. But what I want to talk to you a little bit about is, what do we do in the meantime? For those of you that have heard my show with Brian, you hear us talk about Atlas Shrugged all the time. That's just my all-time favorite book. I read it once a year. I do have it on I listen to it once a year. I think it's 1,800 pages or something. But the theme of the book is that men of ability, men who create, men who make things, decide to go on strike. And they decided not to be exploited by the looters, quote unquote, anymore. Now, as much as that strike is, appealing to me, it's not very practical in today's economy. So what we're going to talk about is, how can we go on strike a little bit every day? So I'm asking you to join me after you see what I'm saying, hear what I'm saying. I'm asking you to join me in going on strike against what this group of politicians has done to our country. How many of you would hold a gun to somebody's head and take their money? We got security in the
Depends how much. Not cheap.
Oh, okay. So his principles have a price.
Yeah.
Well, he's from organizing before
Is that our
America.
state senator? But the point, how many of us are benefiting today, or benefit every day, because somebody else put a gun to somebody else's head and took their money? This is the point I'm making. Okay, we all want our piece of the government pie. I have a real problem with this. I grew up with GM cars. I love GM cars. A lot of my collectible cars are GM cars. I wouldn't buy a GM car today for love money or more. I know that somebody may be employed by GMs and may sell GM products. I don't care. You have to understand, you're essentially working for the government. And the government has put a gun to people's head and took our money and has supported an organization that the market chose not to support. Okay? They didn't produce a product that I felt was worth my money to buy. Curious question. What if nobody bought a GM car? No one. Would the government shut them down? No, of course not. Of course not. They are a government agency. And let me help you. The IPO they're planning, initial public offering, good luck on that one. Okay? I'm not going to buy their stock or their bonds because I saw what happened to the last stockholders and bondholders. Okay? Besides, I don't think they'll ever fully turn it over to the country again. Okay? I think they want to own it. Today, many companies have as their corporate mission, how can we get money out of Uncle Sam And how can we get the taxpayers paid for our screw-ups? Okay, when there's a safety net that has an unlimited checkbook, I don't really care what I do. I'll roll the dice. If it hits, cool. If it doesn't, I'll get the taxpayers to bail me out. Got a lot of problem with companies today, large corporations. Not because the CEOs make a lot of money. I think CEOs should make a lot of money. I'm a CEO. I think I should make a lot of money. But I think I should create value for that. I don't apologize for the money I make. I work hard for it. And I provide value. I'm sick of seeing companies go green for political reasons. If we as consumers wanted a green product, I as an entrepreneur would make one. And I'd gouge you for as much money as I could for that. I get sick of companies lobbying for market advantages, antitrust rules. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Companies that take our dividend dollars, as we as investors, and give them to charities of their choice. Okay? That's my money. I invested in that. Okay? I'm going to pick on a bank locally, all the banks locally. I have on my desk a document 50 pages long. I printed it out yesterday. Every company that took TARP money. 50 pages. Okay? One of them is Huntington Bank. I'm sorry if anybody works for Huntington. Actually, I'm not sorry. But Huntington Bank took millions and millions of dollars in TARP money. They have done nothing to create investor value for their stockholders. And they just gave $2 million to somebody to have their name on a stadium. Okay? This is a gun to somebody else's head that you benefit from. Okay? Not you out there, public. Okay? They think it's great that Huntington gave $2 million to the Toledo walleye. Jeez. $2 million, that's the best we can come up with. But anyway, I have 50 pages of companies that took TARP money. And don't give me the crap about I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice. Okay? These companies had a choice. They had no principles. Right? It's Obama's plan and most of Congress to take over as much of the economy as possible. And they're doing it incrementally. This financial bills, people have asked me about it. What's in it? That kind of stuff. Doesn't matter what's in it. The idea is to take over that sector of the economy. Okay? Why would the White House and Congress go after Goldman Sachs and Goldman Sachs come out in favor of the finance bill? Okay? We don't know the number, but there was a price on those principles. We do know that. So the number doesn't matter. If a company's too big to fail, it's too big to succeed.
Exactly.
In that same vein, our government is too big to succeed, and they are too big to allow me to succeed. We need a much, much smaller government.
Yes.
I said somebody in the last section, I think we ought to dig the Potomac a little deeper, push Washington out past the Fremont.